Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Would everyone please stand for a short prayer and a salute to our flag? Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all of our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our service men and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jessica, statement of publication.
Take notice that this regular agenda meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 21st day of July 2025 has been posted and advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Balca.
Here.
Lisi.
Here.
Novak.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Snarski. Zabrowski.
Okay, Council President, if you would do prior minutes.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the following minutes of the mayor and council be approved on roll call vote, subject to correction if necessary. The May 13th, 2025 receipt of bills, June 16th regular agenda and executive sessions, and July 8th receipt of bills.
Second.
Okay, now we're going to go to,
Gotta do roll call.
I'm sorry.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Snarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Okay, we're going to go to proclamations and presentations. Tonight, we're having a presentation by Go NetSpeed. So if you would come up and introduce yourselves and your company, appreciate it. Is the mic there? No.
You want to use that one or you want to use the handheld?
It doesn't
It's up
matter.
to you.
I'm short either way, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Hold it like you're singing at a lounge act in
We,
Vegas.
we don't want me to sing. My name is Judy Chin. I work for
Susan.
Government Affairs.
We buy expensive ones, but you still have to hold it very close to your mouth.
I'm going home now.
Go ahead.
My name is Judy Chin. I work for Government Affairs for Go NetSpeed. We are here this evening to introduce some of our fiber internet that we would like to bring into the area. So do you have a clicker for the next slide?
If you just say next slide, I'll.
You can go to the next one. Thank you. So Go NetSpeed is one of the largest privately owned fiber optic internet providers in the Northeast. We are not just a typical provider. We bring true fiber to the premises infrastructure with gigabit speeds and symmetrical service, which basically means in layman's language, our upload speeds are just as fast as our download, which is critical for today's home, schools, infrastructure, businesses, and everything else that makes, Sayreville the community that it is today. You can go to next. So we are currently, we have 600,000 customers across the country. We're in 10 states. We are expanding into New Jersey. We are making assessments in some nearby areas such as Old Bridge and South Amboy. Sayreville just happens to be pretty well positioned and in what everybody is assessing in our engineering department for the next wave of investment. We can go to the next. Thank you. So this is just a simple example of what you would typically see. And that would be a home. You would literally have a Wi-Fi router in the house. There would be a drop cable fiber optic out to a pole line. And then that pole line in the comm area would have just a simple fiber attachment. And we would have then somebody come to the house, make sure that it's connected to offer the services as ordered. So we can go to next, please. Thank you. So our engineering materials, we use top grade. We have galvanized steel strands. We use Corning Ultra Optical Fiber. We bring in as best that we can to replace aging infrastructure and to provide services that are definitely a service that's not as easily interrupted as the old infrastructure. So this is just some of what we use. I don't know that it would be much of any interest except to you, Glenn. But if you go to the next slide, that is typically what a comm area on a pole would look like. So if you look at the top where the pink indicator is, that would be an actual GoNet speed attachment. So there's really no difference in what you would see in your streetscape at all. It would just look like another communications wire along the poles. Now, that said, we do have the ability, if you have areas that have underground service only, we can trench and bore and serve those communities as well. So we lean to the city to set the example of what you want in what areas, and that is how we would use our direction to expand in the right of way. So if you can go to the next slide. Thank you. So basically, why we're kind of excited about Sayreville, and I broke this down to make it as simple as possible. Basically, yes, you have broadband today. The landscape, you have many services. You have Optimum serves about 99%, but you have limited fiber from them. You have other fiber providers, you know, Verizon, Fios, Earthlink, they cover less than 7% of what you have in the city. You have fixed wireless such as T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, which everybody knows. They cover most of Sayreville, but they have low-speed fiber. They do not have the speeds that we are able to offer. And then you have the outliers, which are the Viasat, the HughesNet, and Starlink. They're available everywhere, but they're typically much, much slower with a higher latency speed, which means you're not going to get what you would typically get from our speeds going up and down, which would be symmetrical. So the opportunity is this. Fiber offers, like I just said, you know, offers symmetrical upload speeds of up to 2 gig for upload and download, which would serve well for community schools, administration, homes. A lot of people do work from home. I personally work from home, so trust me, it comes in handy. Our fiber can bring, you know, gig of speed across the city of Sayreville. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to launch 100% of the city at any given point. We have not put together an engineering design. Once we do, we will work with Glenn and, you know, everybody else to set the areas for deployment, let you know where we're going, see what the limitations are, what you are looking for to develop going forward, and coordinate that. So what we're really looking to do is boost the economic development and provide some digital equality throughout the city. So if we can go to the next slide. Thank you. GoNet Speed is very proactive in what they try to do for community engagement, whether that means going to some of the elder population and explaining to them, you know, and holding classes to understand what current technologies are, or, you know, sponsoring a booth at a fair, working with, you know, city days. Sayreville probably has, like most cities do, you know, Sayreville Day, and you have all of your vendors and everybody else that, you know, there. We do sponsor quite a few of those. We really believe that the more you become integrated into the public, it becomes a better service across the board. So we just wanted to highlight a little bit of that. Next slide, please. These are just some testimonials, and I won't bother to kind of go through them. They are in the presentation that I left in the back, but they are kind of across culture from New York, Connecticut, Maine, you know, any place that we serve. We just took a grab of some of the reviews. And if you go to the next slide. We do offer in the community a share. So if one person recommends another, they will get a $50 bonus, and that is basically how you kind of expand your footprint. And that is just a little bit, you know, to give back to some of the community. And if we move on to the next slide, there is a Net Promoter Score, which is a really industry-specific gauge. And what they do is they take a scale from negative to 100 to a positive 100. And it's a one-question survey after somebody offers services. And if you honestly look at, and it's kind of an interesting thing, if you go online and look for a typical Net Promoter Score, put in Optimum, put in Cablevision, put in any company, the average net promotion score is like negative 75. We are very proud to say that we are not negative, we are positive 75. So it's something that we strive to keep. And it is not easy because people are very opinionated when it comes to their services and or lack thereof. So we work very hard to keep that up there, and we do what we can to make sure that we're an integral part of the community. And the last slide that I had was basically to let you know that we have full PUC approval to provide telecommunications in New Jersey. We have pole attachments secured with both Verizon and JCP&L, which is new since the last time we spoke. That is fully executed and in place. We are actively working through the development phase. Obviously, we're going to work on aerial first, and then we would talk, as we said, with any areas underground. And we will continue to coordinate with municipal staff and figure out what you need to get from us to go into the right of way and, formulate an agreement to move forward. So I appreciate the time and.
Okay, so a
The
couple
clicking thing.
things.
Sure.
So I'm going to put together a committee tonight.
Okay.
That'll work with Glenn, our borough engineer, Jay Cornell. But Donna, our council president, Donna Roberts, is an IT person. Dan Balka is the CFO of South Amboy, as well as being a resident of Sayreville.
Okay.
And Mary, would you serve on this? Okay, so you can only have 3 elected officials, otherwise you have a quorum. So there will be a couple of things that we'll ask of you. One is that you come, it's summer now, so a lot of people are on vacation, but once school starts, this should be very interesting. Have you met with the Board of Education yet?
No, we have not.
All right, so Glenn will reach out to the Board of Education
Okay.
so that they have a seat at this table. But I would ask that this kind of start in September. The next thing I'm going to ask you to do, which is to have several sessions to the public, one on a Saturday, one on an evening. I'll let the committee decide so that people can come in and have an in-depth conversation about what it is that you offer. The biggest question in Sayreville is, are you cheaper than your competitors?
We are.
All right, well then you're batting 500, so,
And we offer a better service.
okay, well, money first.
And just to be clear, Mayor, this is strictly an internet service. This is not
Correct.
cable television.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So this will
right.
be attractive for people that stream their content
Yep.
rather than go to the can.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So
And we will
it'll-
gladly do whatever presentations you need.
Donna being the most, is a tech person, so she'll chair it, and then Mary and Dan are there, and we'll get it as done as we can get it done.
Thank you.
All right? Are you fully installed in Old Bridge and South Amboy?
We are in the process of, no, we are
In the
not.
process.
fully-
Are you live yet?
Not in Jersey. No, you guys are our first foray in.
Okay, okay. Okay,
So Donna, is it okay if I reach out to you and gather some info?
yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
And I
Thank you
appreciate-
for coming tonight, and we look forward to, the people of Sayreville have asked for more providers of this service, so this is the first step. All right, and we'll probably ask you to do a podcast or two to get the information out. That's something we can do over the summer.
Absolutely.
All right?
Thank you.
Okay. Mary?
Something about Sayreville Day. Maybe she could get something together for National Night Out.
Well, ask them at your first meeting.
It's on. I just.
Okay. Well, I already pointed to Sharon on Cultural Arts, who is just starting to look for sponsors. You'll be a popular girl too. Okay.
We just have a National Night Out on August 5th and, it's an opportunity for you to meet some of the residents.
Okay.
Well, Donna's.
I'll
All right.
put together an email.
All right. So
Glenn will do it.
Mary, let this, because we got a full schedule.
Oh, I know. Yep, I got it.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. So the next is a proclamation, and I'm going to ask the council. Oh. Is the people here from FXS, from Fragile X Syndrome, are they here yet? No, okay. So then we will, let's do this first then. So with that, I'm going to ask the Cultural Arts Committee to come here behind the rail. I'm going to ask the governing body, and I'm going to ask all of Melissa's friends and family to bring her up. All right? Oh. We'll go behind you. No, Cultural Arts comes. That's what I'm. All right. So I'm going to ask the Cultural Arts Committee to be the MC tonight. And their chairman is Chris Cuneo. Chris, you got to hold this close.
Okay.
If
Thank you,
wanna
Mayor.
Introduce your,
Well, this is my co-chair, Sharon. This is one of our team members, Marty, and this is my brother, which is also a member of ours, at the end there.
go ahead and recount this wonderful moment.
Recount.
For teen night, it was teen night.
Oh, yes, yes. So what we did with tea night is we had it came together beautifully that we had a Marvel night, and Sharon found this beautiful woman here that had a collection of comic books that used to be her daughter's collection, and she really wanted to find somebody that would appreciate those comic books. So she donated it to our teen night, and we were able to hand them out to the teens, and for both teens that loved comic books or teens that were just starting to getting into the world of comic books, and it changed their lives. I believe it did. Yes, Sharon.
So us on the committee, we were looking to purchase these comic books for our teenagers in town. And Melissa was advertising on Facebook Marketplace that she was selling an amazing 100-piece collection. And when I called her and told her that we were going to be giving them as gifts to the teens, she said, I'm going to just donate them to you. And if anybody knows Melissa, her daughter passed away 2 years ago, and this was her daughter's special collection, and Melissa gave them to us for our children in our town. And we so appreciate it, Melissa.
Thank you.
You are a doll.
And I
What did we meet with the readers?
The Borough of Saraville would like to recognize your generous donation of 100 comic books to our Teen Night event, which was held on June 25th, 2025. A meaningful gift from your daughter, Veronica's personal collection. Your thoughtfulness and generosity brought joy and inspiration to our teens while honoring the spirit of Veronica of sharing and community. Your contribution made Teen Night even more special, and we are sincerely thank you for your kindness. Your thoughtful donation helped create a fun, engaging, and inspiring evening for our local teens. Your support of the youth literacy and community programming is deeply appreciated and made a meaningful impact to all who participated in this event. For this, Melissa, we give you this certificate of recognition. Thank you. God bless you.
Sharon and I are past cross for a reason, and I always feel fit to donate the books, the comic books, because Veronica when she was a Sayreville student all through high school, and all through her school years, and there was no other time and place to donate them than to the high school students.
Thank you.
very much.
Does anybody else want to speak up here, any of the candidates? So Melissa, you stand here and there's a television camera up there and friends and family. You surround. So now you're on television.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
you.
Oh, a photo.
Can somebody take a photo for us? Because TAP wants to.
you take a photo, Jim?
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, babe.
Say, comic book.
Comic books.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's very nice.
Thank you. See you.
Chris, we're gonna get on with the meeting. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Cultural Arts.
Want to read that proclamation?
Shall I?
Go ahead.
So we have one additional proclamation tonight, Mayor. Whereas Fragile X syndrome, FXS, is the most common inherited cause of autism and intellectual disabilities in the world, affecting people of every race, income level, and nationality. And whereas although the genetic mutation that causes FXS is identifiable through DNA testing, Fragile X frequently goes undiagnosed due to limited awareness, even within the medical community. And whereas more than 100,000 Americans live with Fragile X syndrome, and an estimated 1.5 million are carriers of the Fragile X gene mutation. And whereas FRAXA Research Foundation, founded by parents in 1994, has helped lead the charge to find the effective treatments and ultimately a cure through targeted research and clinical trials. And whereas Fragile X serves as a powerful model for understanding a broad range of neurodevelopment disorders, including autism, and advancing research that benefits millions. And whereas July 22nd is recognized globally as World Fragile X Day, with landmarks, buildings, and bridges lighting up in teal to raise awareness and unite the Fragile X community in hope and support. Now, I therefore, for the Mayor, Kennedy O'Brien, Mayor of Sayreville, and the council hereby proclaim July 22nd, 2025 as World Fragile X Day in Sayreville, and encourage all citizens to join in raising awareness, supporting families, and promoting continued research for effective treatment and a cure. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank
Motion
you.
to accept that proclamation?
So moved.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Novak.
Yes.
Valka.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Okay, with that, we have less than 10 minutes for executive session. If you would read Who has it?
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Borough Council, of the Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. The public portion of this meeting is hereby adjourned in order that the governing body may meet in closed private session for approximately 5 to 10 minutes to discuss the following matters: attorney-client privilege, contract negotiation, Ruplo attorney. Following the conclusion of said closed session, the governing body shall reconvene the open portion of this public meeting to consider any other matters which may be properly brought before it at this time. The nature and content of the discussion which occurs in closed session shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
There a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Gonna do roll call. Councilpersons Roberts,
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Khaleesi,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Sinarski, Zabrowski.
Yes.
To reconvene?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, with that, we'll go to new business.
Introduction of the following ordinances. Ordinance number 18-25, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex. Ordinance amending the borough's general design standards with regard to parking areas and front yards in residential districts.
Councilman Zabrowski?
Move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and public hearing to be held on August 18, 2025.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilperson Zabrowski,
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Khaleesi,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Ordinance number 19-25, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex. Ordinance establishing residency requirements for all appointments to borough boards, commissions, and committees.
Council President?
Thank you, Mayor. I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing be held on August 18th.
Second. Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Khaleesi,
Yes.
Novak, Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski. Ordinance number 20-25, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex. Ordinance reducing the speed limit on a portion of Main Street.
Councilman Khaleesi?
I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on August 18th.
Second. Roll call?
Councilpersons Khaleesi.
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Ordinance number 21-25, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex. Ordinance amending the borough's submission and checklist requirements for land use and zoning permit applications.
Council President?
No, that would be Councilman Zabrowski.
Councilman Zabrowski?
Move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on August 18, 2025.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Zabrowski,
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Khaleesi,
Yes.
Novak, Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Ordinance number 22-25, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, an ordinance accepting the donation of Crab Island from Genon Rima LLC.
Councilman Balca?
I have some questions. Can I do that now or should I wait to the public hearing?
Beg your pardon?
I have some questions. Do it now or do it at the public hearing?
Well, usually you would do it at the public portion. Or call Glenn up during the week.
Okay.
I mean, you can do, you're a councilman, you do what you want.
What's the benefits of us taking it?
Go ahead.
Just additional open space.
That's all? Is it, what's the zoning over there right now? Do we know?
Don't know. But I could tell you that it's a mud flat island not suitable for building upon.
I'm just wondering if the risk is worth the cost benefits there, you know? They pay like $2,800 in taxes and we're not gonna get that, but is there any,
It'll have no utility for us in terms of building anything.
it's a liability, is it a liability? That's what I'm afraid of.
I would think not, only because there was an assessment by the Army Corps of Engineers. If anything pops up with ordinance, it's going to be the Army Corps of Engineers that would come in and dispose of it since it's federal, as a result of federal activity. So I would say no.
How about like PCPs or something like that?
Well, I don't think the PCP, there's never been any,
Dumping, because it's,
the last people to
it's dredge
occupy that
material.
island were likely the Lenny Lenape.
that's not dredge material or anything, that's, okay, so the power plant didn't dump stuff there as over
No.
the years, okay. Okay, I'm gonna move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and public hearing be held on August 18th, 2025.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Balca,
Yes.
Palise,
Yes.
Novak.
I need an awful lot more information, so I'm just going to abstain on this right now because I don't know enough about it.
Roberts,
Yes.
Donarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Okay. At this time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions on the consent agenda items. Are there any questions? Being no questions,
Gentlemen in the back.
yeah, come on up. Come up. Is it you, Ken, or the gentleman behind you?
Good evening. Check. Good. Well, my name is Alberto Rios, 196 Washington Road. Good evening, everyone. I'm here not only as a resident of Sayreville, but also as someone who deeply cares about the future of our town. And that includes the protection and preservation of open spaces. Tonight, you're going to vote on the planning board's recently adopted affordable housing plan to build apartments on a 40-acre parcel of land directly behind Kennedy Park. This is just one part of a larger initiative to build hundreds of apartments units throughout our town. Let me be clear. I'm strongly opposed to this particular development in this location. One of the main reasons me and Hervé Blemmer decided to run for council was to stand up for Sayreville's open spaces, to protect them, to preserve them, and to improve them for our families, for our children, and for our future generations. Kennedy Park is not just another plot of land. It is a landmark, a community treasure, and a haven for wildlife and recreation. It is a place where residents go to walk, reflect, and enjoy nature. To allow development behind this park is to risk damaging the very character and charm of what makes Kennedy Park so special. We are not against progress. We are not against responsible development, but we must ask, at what cost? Our town is already grappling with increased traffic, school overcrowding, and storm water runoff. Adding high-density housing to the area behind Kennedy Park would only make these problems worse. Meanwhile, once we lose open space, we can never get it back. That is why I'm calling for this decision to be placed in our hands, in the hands of the people, not just the council and the planning board. Let the people of Sayreville decide whether this land should be developed or preserved. Put it to a referendum. Let the people decide. Put it to a referendum, let the community speak, let democracy work. We have the money in the Open Space Fund. That fund was created for just this purpose, to save land from development. We owe it to the residents of Sayreville, past, present, and future, to ensure that we grow in a way that is thoughtful, balanced, and sustainable. I believe that preserving Kennedy Park and the open space around it is one of the most important steps that we can take to protect our town's character and quality of life. We are asking for a referendum to let the people decide. Thank you.
Thanks, Alberto. If you would explain to the public what exactly this resolution is about and how it came about and what it truly means. Introduce yourself if you would, please.
Absolutely. Peter Vandenkoy with Acuity Consulting Services. I'm a licensed professional planner in the state of New Jersey. and my firm prepared the housing plan element and fair share plan. And what that is essentially is the fourth round housing plan element and fair share plan, where it is part of the master plan that was adopted by the planning board, but it's also part, and really the main reason we're doing this is because the state has generated obligations for each municipality, and they've handed those down. And essentially, the gist of the process handed down by the state is that we had to adopt the plan at the planning board by June 30th, and then endorse it subsequently and submit it to the court system. And essentially, at this point, we've completed the main step of adoption by June 30th. This is the endorsement step. It's the second step, and it's really just the governing body acknowledging that it was in fact adopted. The obligations in that plan, again, were handed down by the state. We actually had a negotiation process where it started at 270 units for the fourth round obligation. And just to back up for a second, there's the prior round and third round obligations, which have been met by existing projects, which are largely constructed. So there won't be really any new units other than what's already planned for as part of those obligations for the prior rounds. The fourth round, we started at 270 is what the state asked for. We countered through preparing an analysis of land capacity with 210 units. We showed that some of the state's calculations were in error. And through a negotiation process, we landed on 240. So we're able to reduce that by 30 units. And one of the other things we did in addition to that is a vacant land adjustment. And that is essentially, as the gentleman just mentioned, there's a lot of development in town already, and we're able to leverage that to demonstrate that there actually aren't that many developable parcels in the community anymore. And so a vacant land adjustment essentially uses GIS mapping and screens for just the vacant parcels that are developable. And based on that, that 210 was able to be reduced to 76 units as the obligation. And that 76 is called a realistic development potential. That's what you have to plan specifically for in the near term. And the rest of that 210 becomes unmet need. And that's something that you don't have to plan for specifically now. You just have to keep it in mind if an opportunity comes up. The way the regulations are drafted, you're supposed to consider an opportunity, but it would have to be in accordance with sound land use principles. It would have to go before your board. There would be a public process and all those types of things. And real quick, just last thought specific to the property that I believe the gentleman was referring to. I believe it's privately owned. It's not part of Kennedy Park. And then also, we haven't received any conceptual plan, and we included it primarily because it's the single largest vacant property. And if we didn't include it in the plan, the state would see a giant error essentially in the plan, and we don't want to have glaring errors essentially in a court review process, which is what it is at the state level. There's no, let's say, concrete commitment on the part of the borough to move forward with that site. It's entirely dependent on that private, entity coming in with an application. And the plan is a master plan. It's able to be amended by the borough at any time. So it can evolve over time. And essentially what we have is a fully compliant platform at this point in time that can evolve going forward based on what the borough and the residents and everyone feels is best.
So it's my understanding, this is mandated by the legislature. And if there were a number of towns in New Jersey who fought it, wouldn't do it, and they came together and they fought it, and what was their outcome?
So we had, I believe it was 45 to 50 towns litigate that. For the most part, they have not been successful. I believe it may still be being appealed to the Supreme Court. This has been litigated for the past 40 plus years. It's a very difficult aspect of land use law.
So the thing that I try to explain to the residents is if we fight it and we lose control of the planning. Whereas if we work with what it is that the legislature is asking for, we have better control over our future. So it's not a question of what we want, it's what they will give us. The other thing that this is all based on low-income housing throughout the state. When back in the 1990s, when I was a housing commissioner and we built Gillette Manor, we built it for residents of Sayreville and relatives of residents of Sayreville. That's no longer allowed. So any of the low-income housing set-asides that we have in Saraville are for anybody across the United States to rent. It's not just for Saraville residents, which makes it difficult. The most difficult thing in my chief of staff office is when they get a call from a single mother looking for a rental. There aren't any. It is extraordinarily difficult, and they don't get any preference or priority in getting an apartment. There's no preference there's just, they get no preference. And it's the single most difficult thing to accomplish is finding low rent homes for our residents, particularly single mothers. As everyone who follows local real estate, and then practically everybody does since it all became very expensive, is I think the new apartments that are going up down at the end of Main Street, just before the Main Street extension, my staff called them and they said the first building is going to go up for rent around January. The market rate is going to go to the highest bidder. And the set-asides for low income, just who first come, first served. So there's a shortage of rentals, and this is, the market will charge what the market will bear. And currently, a one-bedroom and a two-bedroom is extraordinarily expensive to my standards, which, you know, I was born a long time ago. That being said, we are trying to have as much control as possible over that which is available to be built. And you don't have a choice. We don't have a choice as a town. And if we fight it, if we sit on our hands, if we refuse to comply, then the judge and the developers will do it for us. And then they will do what is in their best interest, and the town will lose any control that they have on this. Am I covering it pretty well?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Okay. Any questions from the governing body? Okay, would you stay till we finish this portion, please?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Ken?
Thank you, Mayor. Ken Olszewski of Saraville. 2025-183, designated municipal housing liaison. Exactly what is that?
Well, that's a standard appointment. Usually it goes to the business administrator. We're now a town of 45,000 people. So Zach Schlicker helps Glenn in his job. So he has been given this assignment. There is no stipend. There is no additional compensation for doing this.
Okay, that was one of my questions. There's no stipend. How many jobs does this guy, is this the guy that lives down in the Philadelphia area? It seems I see his name coming up quite often. How many assignments does he have? Is he assistant business administrator, or is he an assistant?
He's a management specialist assigned to the administration department of the borough.
And what's his role on, what is his role on Sarah?
Executive.
He's deputy director, sir.
So the last I heard of him, the mayor introduced him at the senior center as a liaison, mayor, one of your aides, I think. That might be 2 years ago, but this guy must be the greatest thing since sliced bread, because he's moved up the ranks pretty quick. I'll tell you, every time I turn around to see his name. Is he the same guy that was chair of the mayor's dark money pack? As far as I know, what I've heard, I believe he
I
is.
didn't have a dark money pack.
Pardon?
I didn't have a dark money.
Oh, you didn't
pack.
have a dark money pack?
I didn't have one, no.
Okay, so he wasn't chair of the dark money
I
pack.
have no idea. I didn't have a dark money pack.
Thank you.
Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Jim Robinson, Parlin. Under resolutions, I see JCP&L. They're on the bill list for $71,000. It was March that they were supposed to be here. We're going to call them in to talk about streetlights. That was a few months ago. They haven't been back since. There are more lights out now than there were then. We continue to pay them $71,000. Councilwoman Novak did some research and asked the attorney to look into it further. We can hold up payments if streetlights are out. Are we doing that? I would ask you to answer that when my time is up. The next thing, I too want to talk about the fair share plan that you're being asked to endorse. The planning board came up with to put housing at the 40 acres behind Kennedy Park and where the park and ride facility is and the 40 and the where the mini mall is and some other spaces. It is true, certainly, that this is a state regulation. The state doesn't pick the places. The state didn't say we should put 250 units on the 40 acres behind Kennedy Park. That was the mayor's idea. It wasn't even Mr. Mako's idea. It was the mayor's idea to put that there. The mayor and the business administrator met with Mr. Mako soon after he came into office and said he wanted housing there. I listened to the tape of the planning board meeting where they adopted this June 18th. Took me a while to get it. It wasn't posted for 3 weeks until I mentioned it. Then all of a sudden it got put up there. It was a 20-minute meeting. There wasn't one question asked. Not only by a member of the public, not even a member of the board, not one question, and boom, 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 we adopted it. A lot of thought went into that, so we'll see how much discussion goes into it tonight. I read through that plan. And there was not one mention of veterans, not one mention of shelters for victims of domestic violence or sexual assault. And by the way, those uses give you extra credits. I'm involved with some of those in some other counties where I'm involved with affordable housing, and that's how we're solving it. Not one mention of veterans in this affordable housing plan. Talk about 250 apartments on the 40 acres behind Kennedy Park. Not one mention. But tonight, you're going to agree to the building of all those apartments at the mini mall, the park and ride, Mako's 40 acres. And the resolution you're going to adopt says it's in the public interest and will protect public health and safety and promote the general welfare of the borough, and you approve and endorse the plan. I'm not sure how you can vote for this plan knowing that, but I'm sure you will. And I have to tell you, Mr. Rios's comment that this ought to be put to referendum, especially the 40 acres behind Kennedy Park. Mayor, you love referendums. They don't always turn out the way you want, but I think that's a good idea. Let the people decide. Let the people decide. We have, I don't know, 12 million, 14 million in the open space fund. We're getting Crab Island. That's part of our open space fund. That's part of our open space. Well, that's wonderful. I guess it's better than putting a bus depot there. But if that's all that we have to show for our open space fund, that is not a good thing. So it is true. I just want to clarify. And Mayor, you know that when the state comes in and sues, you have to build a number of units because the thousands of apartments that we are building now is a result of being sued because of your first 20 years, we didn't do one affordable unit. So now we're paying the price for 875 affordable units. We're going to be building thousands of market rate units. So I ask you, I like this idea about the referendum. I ask you not to endorse this plan. We can do something better. We can do something that mentions veterans, that does something for veterans, that does something for the other groups that I talked about, and that preserves area that should be preserved. There are other ways to accomplish this. Just got to be a little bit more creative than we have been in the past. So I ask you to vote no on this and send it back to the board. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. I will entertain a motion.
I move the public hearing be closed and the consent agenda resolutions be approved on roll call vote.
Roll call? Oh, second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts,
First, before I vote, I have a few words to say about the housing. We're supposed to do what's in the best interest of our community, and the Democratic state leadership blocks us at every corner. Affordable housing is a euphemism and a manufactured problem created by Democratic leadership that we've had for many years. I oppose any rezoning and zoning overlay, and I oppose the use of the builder's remedy. These are the only choices we have at the municipal level because Democrats in New Jersey make the rules and municipalities all over the state, including Sayreville, pay the price. And we have no good recourse at this level. What we have to do is if you really, truly want to change this, it has to start at the top because these are mandates that we are given. Right now, this is our plan. This is the best plan that we have for the land that we have left. And we have to be honest with the state about what is available. Even if we don't own it, it is potential. So that is why I have to vote for this because giving it to the hands of the state will create more of chaos than we already have. So with great disgust about having to do this, I vote yes for all the referendum items.
Valka,
Okay, 2025-175, abstain on Adelux bills. And then 2025-197, no. Yes on all their items.
Lisi,
Yes.
Novak,
Yeah, I'm going to have to, I have a few comments and questions, actually. I have a problem, with the bill list. I'm going to vote yes on that only because, but I really think that it's time that we start dunning JCP&L. They're not getting any better with streetlights, they're getting worse. And I think that we should, by the next bill, have a deduction for the lights that have been out over, because we actually did a resolution to do this. It was made by motion and seconded and voted on by every member of the council to start deducting for all of the lights that have been out. They're really not operating as a good neighbor, quite frankly. But for this meeting, I will say yes on that. 183, that's a no. I have looked up what exactly the municipal housing liaison. It's a very important position. And, but I think the fact that he's doing it for nothing, I just don't see how, this is such an important position. This will be the third job this man has with this town. He lives 100 miles away. And I really think that, there was really no discussion on this position. There was no discussion on who was going to hold it. And if he's doing this as a volunteer, didn't we just introduce an ordinance that said all volunteers have to live in town? So, that will be a no. I just have a question on 193. Did we get a time frame on that at all, Glenn?
Once we receive council authorization, they expect it to take 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, thank you. And I will be voting no on 197. That property, years ago, this council, and I believe it was McCormick who was the mayor at the time, rezoned that into prime. And the acronym, I'm not too sure of exactly, the P is public, I believe, the R is recreation, the I is institutional, the M is municipal, and the E is educational. Saw fit all of those years ago to take that out of residential. And now all of a sudden, we're putting it back in. We instituted back in 2023 to look into purchasing that. there was another piece of property that I believe is on this plan also. And it's the property that a developer came in and wanted to build with the garages. And that would have had really no impact on the residential. But we decided to not go along with that and to try to buy that property also. Now, I mean, I wish we just, let them build the garages there rather than, a high rise of more residents. So those are my reasons for voting no on 197. Everything else, yes.
Sinarski,
I looked at everything here. I studied. I'm voting yes.
Zabrowski,
Yes, and with comment to 197. Yes, with comment to 197. I guess it's now 50 years ago that the Matt Laurel decision came down, and that really proclaimed the need for affordable housing. And the theory is correct, particularly for our town. We want our seniors who are moving on and looking to downgrade to different homes to be able to stay in their homes or stay in our town. We want young professionals and young people that are working their way through their occupations and creating their lives to either stay in Saraville or to move into Saraville. And then finally, as far as others as well, we have obligations that are really noble and appropriate. But I do agree with Donna. The process has become convoluted. It's complicated. It's become formulaic. And I'm not sure if it creates the type of affordable housing that was once envisioned. I don't think it does. And one of the reasons for that is this builder's remedy, which basically hovers over everything that goes on. And if you don't adopt the plan, and if you don't adopt it correctly, the builders have the remedy to build as they see fit, which we can't have. The plan that's put forward, I understand. There's no one that wants a mandate, and that no one wants to be able to say, you have to build these many units in our particular town. If you go across the state, it's the same thing. So I sympathize because I'm obviously a resident, and I agree. No one should be able to mandate that. But the point is they do. And until that changes, we have what we have to do, an obligation to what was right for our town. This was a carefully constructed plan. I'm sure there's enough to be said from everybody that there's something that everybody doesn't like. But at the end of the day, it does meet the requirements, but it also goes into the special needs of certain people, particularly special needs in those that need rehabilitative services. So while I don't know if everybody likes the plan or wants the plan, the point is this was a very carefully crafted plan. And yes, Jim, it was creative. It looked at an awful lot of areas to make sure that it didn't impact the borough as much as it could. Is it perfect? It's not perfect, and it's not going to be perfect because the process doesn't allow for perfection. I go back to the original purpose. I agree the original purpose of what affordable housing should be. It's unfortunate that over 50 years, it's become this convoluted mess, but it's a mess that we have to be able to deal with. And I think this plan that's put forward, done by our professionals, is an appropriate plan. And for that reason, I vote for it.
need a motion to accept the correspondence as listed.
So moved.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Roberts, Balca.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay, Mayor and council reports, administration and finance, Councilman Valka.
Thank you, Mayor. We received their certified tax rates and the bills are being printed. They'll be due August 29th according to the resolution. The grace period is extended, and if you don't pay by the end of the due date, the interest you pay will accrue back to August 1st. It's important to know that people think they'll pay 1 day late, but they're really paying 30 days late. If you can't wait to see your bill, you could go online and look it up if you really want to. And also, our bid threshold changed from 44,000 to 53,000, which is a potential cost savings for us. Other than that, progress.
Thank you. Planning and zoning, Councilman Zabrowski.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things. I want to follow up on the JCP&L issue. I had thought we were making progress. Apparently, we haven't made as much progress as I thought, and that's a shame. But I do know that we have a better rapport with the current representative, and I'm going to ask again. Back in, when Tina Early was our representative, I issued or requested from them, 10 questions, which dealt with what's the present condition of our infrastructure, and secondarily, what is being done to improve it over the next several years. I've yet to receive that response, and I know it's also been forwarded to our newest representative. So I would ask, and Glenn, it probably falls upon you, if you could ask our representative to have a comprehensive response to those 10 questions, hopefully at our next meeting. I'd appreciate it. Secondly, we had the terrible news that Ashland was closing down, and a number of our residents lost their jobs. I reached out to their union representatives, and lo and behold, I found out already that one of our chiefs of staff, Andy, had reached out to provide what support that they could from the borough's perspective, and I appreciate that. These are a number of people who have been working for Ashland over some of them decades, and it's unfortunate that within a month's time they're going to lose their jobs. And I do appreciate the fact that the borough is working very hard to see whatever support we can for them and what other opportunities may be for them as well. Third, I want to thank our staff at the Active Adult Center. As you know, I'm the liaison for that, for the center. Most cases, I'm usually touting their activities. But this time, what I want to do is thank them. We've had an extremely hot and humid last couple of weeks, and the Active Adult Center has been our cooling center. That unit is also a very big part of our emergency planning. And I just want to thank Jen and her staff for the work that they do. And then finally, the planning board met last Wednesday. Present was the Board of Education, who provided us an explanation for a capital project, which is the improvement of, not improvement, but the additional parking spaces at Eisenhower School. The board cannot approve or disapprove. It can make recommendations, one of which was for them to think about adding additional landscaping to avoid any light spillage over onto Ernston Road. And with that, Mayor, that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Public Safety, Councilman Kalasi.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to share two important updates from Police Chief Plumacher from the Saraville Police Department. First, the department is moving forward with hiring and has presented the 4 new officer candidates tonight for their conditional employment. So secondly, this Wednesday, July 23rd at 6 p.m., they're going to hold a ribbon cutting ceremony for us. It's called Stephanie's Sanctuary. So it's a newly renovated domestic violence support room at police headquarters. This space was generously created by the Stephanie Nicole Pars Foundation to offer a calming, supportive environment for victims, officers, and advocates. It includes essentials like clothing, snacks, waters, and items for children. So Stephanie Pars was a young woman from Freehold who tragically lost her life to domestic violence in 2019. Her foundation continues to do meaningful work in her memory, and we thank them for their valuable contribution to our community. Next, I'd like to share a brief update from our Office of Emergency Management provided by Director Chris Bardsley. Saraville OEM operated a unified command post during this year's Independence Day fireworks event, coordinating with Saraville Fire, EMS, South Amboy First Aid, and our PD. I'm pleased to report the event went smoothly and without incident. On July 14th, OEM assisted police, fire, and the Department of Public Works in responding to flash flooding caused by that severe storm. Several vehicle water rescues were successfully carried out by the fire department, and road closures on Route 9, Main Street Extension, and Cross Avenue were managed by Sayreville Police. And OEM will also be participating along with our other first responders at our upcoming National Night Out event. So that said, I want to take a moment just to thank all our public safety departments, police, fire, EMS, and OEM for continuing to serve the borough of Sayreville with professionalism and dedication throughout these busy summer months. As always, our first responders remain ready to assist and respond at a moment's notice. I encourage residents to continue practicing common summer safety, which is to stay hydrated, check on elderly neighbors during the heat waves, and remember that if you see something, you say something. That's all I have to report tonight.
Thank you, Councilman. Public Works, Councilwoman Novak.
Thank you, Mayor. This weekend, we had a ribbon cutting at Perez Pizza over in Morgan. Unfortunately, I was there an hour and a half early because there was a Stash, myself, and Mike were there for a 1 o'clock ribbon cutting, and there was apparently a miscommunication, and Donna was the only one. We finally called and said, "Hey, Donna, why aren't you here? You're always here." She got the word that it was put off until 2:30. So Mike was able to come back. Stash and I had other commitments that we had to attend to. But it's really nice when we have new businesses opening in town, particularly in Morgan. You know, we're always trying to, you know, help out that area of town, get more people down there. And the people were very nice. And if you're looking for a pizza, new place, try down there. Okay, I would like, I already talked about JCP&L, National Night Out, Mike brought out. It's really very, very important for you to come out for that. It's a very good event, a community event, and hopefully maybe the woman from the, because people in this town, if there's one thing besides power failures, which seems to be, you know, causing Facebook or my emails to light up, you know, what's going on with Optimum is a real big problem in town. And we just don't have, you know, the opportunities, you know, to have other companies. So this is really good. The more we get in here, the better. I'm really happy about that. And hopefully they can come and start to inform the residents of the town on National Night Out. The Ashland resolution, I really feel bad about this, but I was just wondering, will that problem now, that property, will it have to be considered as undeveloped area? And now our numbers will now increase for affordable housing? If it's going to be vacant land.
Well, the short answer is I don't know, but it's zoned industrial, so I don't think that would have been caught in the web, but we'll put that by the planner and ask him.
Yeah, I mean, because it's something, if we're turned around and we have to increase our numbers, or maybe if we don't, maybe we could consider that. And so we don't build over by Kennedy Park. Because like I said, many, 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 many years ago, you know, the people that sat up here saw the importance of protecting that property. And I'd like to see it continue. It's a shame we didn't go out and buy it. We did buy another piece over there. What was that, in 22? I don't remember exactly. We bought the 4 acres of Kaplan property over there. Again, by Kennedy Park. We're trying to preserve that over there. And it would have been nice if we could have, if we jumped on trying to buy that before all of these affordable housing numbers came out. And we've got to stop taking the easy way out and blaming it on people in Trenton. I blame myself for not putting forth resolutions to do something about the affordable housing. We just sat back here and said, oh, well, the people in Trenton did this to us. Republicans did it too. You know, we had 3 Republican governors since this was done that I know of, and nothing ever changed. Stop blaming the state. We as a local level have to start doing resolutions and start putting pressure on the state to do what's best for the residents that live in this town. It's absolutely crazy what we're being put up with. Okay, most people have received their large recycling can. I know it sounds stupid, but I am really excited about this. If you haven't received it, please try to get through to Elise, and she'll call the county and make sure everybody that needs a can gets it. And please don't, in my own neighborhood, usually people look out the door and say, what's Mary putting out? And then they know if there's garbage that day or recycling. About 7 people on my own block put out the brand new cans. I guess they were excited. Unfortunately, they couldn't be picked up by the truck. So the truck actually did come back around as people put stuff out in smaller containers. Please don't use, I believe there's no more actual pickups until we are using the new cans. But there is one more? Okay, one more week. So please don't use the blue cans as much as, they really do hold a lot. Did anybody see the new ad? It was on Facebook, and it shows how much the kids actually from Bombers Beyond dumped 3 cans full of recyclables, round ones, and one of the square ones with paper and cardboard in it, and it all fit into the can. So for anybody saying they don't think it's going to be enough, it really is. So it's really going to do so much to make the town look nicer. And the smell better, and no more recyclables blowing around. And other than that, Mayor, I believe I got all my notes. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Water and Sewer / Environmental, Councilman Sinarski.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few things today. We'll start with the water and sewer. June 19th, that just passed, we had a severe storm that took out our Duhernal system. There was trees down, wires down. We were almost out of water, but the reaction of our water department, we tapped into the Middlesex water, and we had interrupted service until the service was restored in Duhernal. That's why I want to talk about maintenance. There's 3 kinds of maintenance that you need. You need reactive, preventative, and proactive. The first one we have is a great reactive group. What I mean by that is when the things fall, things break, we have a reactive group that comes in on their call in, their response is fantastic. Then there's proactive. Proactive is going to be the guys that are watching the trees, learning about what's going to be happening, what's going to be breaking, and preventing that from happening. The second thing, the last one, is preventative. That's all of the guys that are working their daily maintenance and everything and keeping everything running. And now I want to commend our water department because they did a great job to get everything back in shape for us and keep it running. Also, I was always telling you that there is still a water shortage a little bit. Drought situation minor because of the lack of rain. We get rain, but there is a lot of runoff, so it doesn't get a chance to perk into the ground and soak in. So that's another issue. But we did go up in water production. I was mentioning every month it's been going up. Last month in June, over 200 million gallons of water was produced, which is the highest number I've seen since I've been doing this. All right. The Borough Garden, I got to commend Glenn. They did an outstanding job. I was actually weed whacking the community garden by myself over there as I was passing through because we can't control the weeds over there. Glenn come up with a great solution, an old-time Polish theory, and he's environmentally taking care of the weeds over there, and Richie Popowski and everybody else liked this solution. We'll might be using it more in town also. The other thing is, my last one is for CME. I had a road paved in our development, and everybody knows about jobs and everything else, but they not there all day watching it. The job was going on in my area where I could see it. And the CME guy is there from the morning before the contractors are there. They're there at the finish of the day. They are taking care of all of the problems that all the neighbors have with their sprinkler lines, all the buried electric lines, the curb heights. I didn't get one call from any neighbor in any of that area that had anything to say because CME did a tremendous job and took care of everything in that street. So I like to hear good things once in a while, so I like to tell them good things once in a while. Nice job. That's the end of my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Sinarski. Recreation Council President Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I get into recreation, I do have a question to ask of our attorney. I don't know if it's appropriate. Would a referendum make a difference to what the state would mandate us to do if we voted against any affordable housing on those properties?
Well, no, our mandate is set by the recently adopted amended regulations and amended Fair Housing Act, which requires us to act by certain deadlines and requires us to meet certain minimum requirements. And that's what the planner had gone through the history a little bit there. With regard to choosing certain sites, what the planner had mentioned, and I agree with, when you can't ignore certain sites that meet certain criteria, because not only, well, the actual plannings within the planning boards and the council's jurisdiction is going through the, what's called the Affordable Housing Dispute Resolution Program, which was also established by the most recent amended act. And that sets forth basis for Fair Share, the Builders Association, and in fact, any other developer to challenge our plan. If we did not include certain properties that meet all certain criteria in our plan and don't have a suitable alternative identified in the plan, that will be challenged. And it will go through the alternative dispute program. And we, as a borough, wouldn't really have an answer to that if we didn't have another alternate suitable site to substitute it for. So that's why it was put in the plan as is, where we are with such short deadlines, because we have to act by the end of June. And as the planner had mentioned, that doesn't mean that we can't amend it. That doesn't mean it can't change through the process. But we had to put together a plan that met the criteria of the act and adopted by the planning board by the end of June. It gave a very minimum time to be able to do that. So we tried to put the borough professionals and working with certain officials and the planning board to come up with was the best option to get through and pass that challenge, those challenges. And then once we're through those challenges, we can go further and potentially amend that, change it, determine what is the actual sites that are going to be developed that might differ over time, because that always changes and things always change over time, especially as we've seen it in the past. We might think that this site's being developed for whatever purposes, and then 2 years later, it doesn't, it gets developed as something else. So that is why was included, and that is why we're proceeding. It's all based upon compliance with the amended act.
And then the follow-up question, the other recommendation was would a resolution that we would pass have any teeth in it?
What do you mean?
If
Oh,
we-
you mean referendum?
No, we did the referendum. Now, if we do a resolution or we do resolutions on properties to protect properties from being in there, does that have any teeth to it?
No. Unless the only way they could be is if they're deed restricted, either open space, part of our Rossi.
Rossi.
So then it is absolutely unable to be used for anything but open space purposes. That would take it away. But just by saying we don't want this property to be developed as affordable housing, they don't care. And that's why what you've seen in prior rounds, that's happened many times where municipalities had done this and decided they didn't want to certain properties to be built or zoned certain ways. We've seen properties that are zoned commercial, zoned industrial, because that's what the municipality planned and wanted to be built there. And then what ends up happening is the affordable housing comes in, Fair Share comes in, the courts come in, and they say, no, that's now going to be a 400 unit residential development. So just that alone is not enough. The only thing that's held withheld courts in Fair Share was open space restrictions.
Okay, well, thank you for the clarification. I'm sure I'm going to have more questions as we move forward with this because it is very complicated and there's a lot of moving parts. And as Councilman Zembrowski had mentioned, and I apologize for not recognizing this sooner, the boards that we have worked very hard and creatively to come up with the existing plan. And as you said, that's a plan and we will do our best to make it better, but we're mandated by the state. So now for recreation, we have a car show Wednesday from 6 to 9 at Kennedy Parks. The camp is going very well. We had Camp Kindness Week. I do work out of town, so I was unable to attend that, but I heard it was very well attended. Mayor, did you get the opportunity to go to the camp yet this year?
I was down there.
I thought you were. Okay. So it seems to be going very well, and
Very
we're
well.
very proud of.
Growing
the
every
camp.
concert.
Right. We have National Night Out. We also have Cultural Arts, which has a full schedule. Let me highlight a couple of things. Groovin' in the 70s already happened. You already missed 80s night, which was awesome. We have Elvis night coming this Thursday. Thursday it is. This Thursday. And then Hawaiian Luau night, which is going to be a blast. And you can go online to the Sayreville Rec website. We have the listings there for you, so you can see what's going on every Thursday till August 28th. And also Perez Pizza, I apologize, I didn't realize everybody else wasn't copied on that with the time change. So I didn't realize, I should have looked to forward it. So my apologies for that. I thought it was sent to everyone. And we also had our Junior Police Academy graduation. Mary, do you want to talk about that since I wasn't able to make it?
Well, Mike was able to make it. We, matter of fact, usually it's just Donna and I at those things, but we had the mayor and we had Stash and we had Mike and myself. And it's really a special thing for these kids. If you really saw everything that they go through, this isn't just, a play week. They learn an awful lot and they come out different kids than they went in, or they're young adults, they're not kids anymore. So we really had a great time at the graduation, although I have to say, Donna will know what I'm talking about. Usually it's in the auditorium and we're freezing in there. I brought jackets for myself and my granddaughter that was with me, and we were in the gym because the air conditioning wasn't working at all there. And I'll tell you, the gym wasn't a lot better, particularly we were sitting, I did not want the mayor to sit on the bleachers because I thought something would happen to him going up and down, but he was a trooper. He climbed up onto those bleachers and sat down. It was awfully warm, but still, it was a wonderful experience for the kids, for us as council people, and for the police that love to train these kids. And hopefully we'll see them back sometime interviewing for a job in the police department.
I'm so sorry I missed it this year. Day jobs. Retirement is looking better and better every day. And then just finally, the recycling team is doing such a great job. I've got my new recycling can, and I'm looking forward to August 1st for that. And otherwise, progress, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Just some of the things that are happening here in Borough Hall. Because of the relationship that we have with the building trades, going back, let's say, 6 or so weeks, we received an invitation to go to the Carpenters Apprentice Hall in Raritan Center, and Andy and I went there, and we were giving a tour. And one of the things that I've always noticed is there are young people that grow up in Sayreville. They want to spend the rest of their lives in Sayreville. And now with the cost of a home being around $500,000, they need to be able to earn a living to buy that home. That being said, Andy is working with the building trades. I think it was a week or so later, there's an annual event for all the building trades, not just the carpenters. And Stash and Andy and I went through it, and we went booth to booth, trade to trade. And the whole concept is that we'll be able to help the young people of Sayreville get into the building trades. And I can't thank Stash enough, and Andrew deserves all the credit, and Ken Kelly is backup. That being said, last week, we had an invitation to go to the steel mill. They were having an introduction, and there were about a dozen Rutgers engineering students there, and Stash and Andy and myself. And one of the questions we asked them was that we were, Ashland/Hercules was closing. There were 54 employees, and Andy and Stash are making the bridge because about 240 people work at the steel mill. You make a darn good living there. If any of the people from Hercules can be placed there, Andy with Stash are going to make that happen. Stash, you want to comment on that visit?
It was very educational, very informative. There's a lot to making steel there. So what I mean by that is there's a lot of people that could be diversified that work in Hercules now or Ashland that could possibly slip into the steel mill. The steel mill is not the way it used to be 30 years ago, 40 years ago. I was telling the mayor, when I was a little boy growing up in Crab Island with my father in the river, I was watching them build it, dropping the helicopter, with helicopters dropping the big things into that place. So I was there since the beginning when it was there, and it was not the best environmental neighbor, I could say, growing up. But now everything has changed. There's safety there. It is the top shelf the way it's run, very professional. And we're going to try to see if we can help get some people, relocate some jobs over there also. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Stash. And with that, we'll go to general discussion. Administration and Finance.
Authorization for the tax collector to refund taxes and cancel all subsequently billed taxes due to 100% disabled veteran tax exemption for the following: Block 107, Lot 9, in the amount of $2,172.67. Block 32.01, Lot 31, in the amount of $144.92. 2 is a duplicate. 3, authorization for membership in the Omni Partners Cooperative purchasing. So we need a resolution for that.
Any objections? Next item.
Authorization to purchase ballistic vests from Action Uniform through Armor Express New Jersey State Contract in an amount not to exceed $31,662.60.
Any objections? Next item.
Authorization to award a contract for annual software maintenance services with Q's Infort Development through NJ State Contract in the amount not to exceed $36,241.
Any objection? Next item.
Request to travel received from the several fire departments to attend the annual Firemen's Convention in Wildwood from September 11th to the 14th.
Any objection? Next item.
Request received to hold a block party from the following residents of Pine Tree Drive between Cypress Drive and Buttonwood Drive on August 30th, rain date August 31st from 9 a.m. to 12 midnight, and residents of Ridge Avenue and Milliken Road on July 26th from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to purchase paper leaf bags from PAPCO through a non-fair and open process in an amount not to exceed $21,628.80. Authorization to award a contract for electrical repairs, electrical work and repairs. I think bids are coming in this week. Application for a special event received from the Dwarkadish Temple to conduct several religious services on the dates listed.
Any objection? Next item.
Memorializing emergency purchase of a rotary air compressor from Quincy Compressor in an amount not to exceed $71,782.74. And the next is on Glenn.
Okay.
Authorization to promote Anthony Cecily from truck driver to mechanic in the Department of Public Works effective August 1st.
Any objections? Next item.
Authorization to report Emma Lamperti to recreation leader in the Recreation Department effective August 16th.
Any objection? Next item.
Is this a new position?
Yes, we had discussed it during the budget. It was in addition to the recreation staff to help us expand our programming.
Okay, is she a resident?
No, we had no resident with the requisite qualifications apply for the job.
Thank you.
Number 3.
Authorization to promote John Klossick, Sean Tischler, and Jonathan Sabo from laborer 1 to truck driver in the Department of Public Works effective August 1st.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to promote Jack Jacobus, Harry Gelpke, John Palermo Jr., and Christopher Bardsley from laborer 1 to truck driver heavy in the Department of Public Works effective August 1st.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to promote Brian Bender from truck driver to equipment operator in the Department of Public Works effective August 1st.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to appoint Marcus A. Livingston, Vincent C. O'Donnell, Parker E. McCall, and Camille Kowalczyk as police officers in the Police Department effective July 28th, pending completion of all pre-employment requirements.
Any objection? Next item.
And authorization to promote Lauren Lestuck from Clerk 1 to Clerk 2 in the Water and Sewer Department effective August 1st.
Any objection? Anything else? Go on.
No.
Thank you. CFO's report.
Thank you, Mayor. We got 2 grants in. The first one is from the New Jersey Department of Law and Administration, Matthew Shepard and James Berg, hate crimes in an amount of $75,000. And also an ANJEC Open Space Stewardship Grant in the amount of $1,500.
Anything else?
Nope. Thank you.
Okay, Borough Engineers report,
Report, Mayor, this evening. Thank you.
Borough Attorneys report.
Nothing this evening. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, so I'm going to open the public portion. There is a 5-minute limit. Are you ladies in the back here from Kenneth Avenue? Had I known, out of a courtesy, I would have had you come up earlier. Please come up. This is when you would come up. You have a petition? You need, the protocol requires that you come up to the podium. I can't hear.
This gentleman here is.
Oh, you're supporting him. Come on up.
In council, Glenn, I met with your assistant director, Zach, and he turned around, and told me to inform me on what meeting I can come to, and I didn't know about this meeting, so
Would you identify
Oh, I'm
yourself?
sorry, my name's Ed Hamlin, and I am a borough resident, I'm a resident of Parlin, New Jersey. I seem to have a problem, well, not me, but the residents of Kenneth Avenue seem to have a problem with traffic coming off of Route 9 up and down Bordentown Avenue. Massive amounts of accidents that are occurring. I drew up a petition, and I have well over 65 signatures. Like I said, Zach turned around, told me to come on over here and stuff like that. Something's got to get done. You know, I heard that there was something in the works, but it was supposed to happen before, it was supposed to be in the works just before the pandemic hit. And I don't know what happened. He turned around and said that the funds were gone or something to do this project, to redesign the whole Bordentown Avenue, Kenneth Avenue, Bordentown Avenue, Kenneth Avenue, Burlew Place, and Eugene Boulevard and stuff.
And Route 9.
You know, and Route 9. But
Right.
I was also in touch with the Department of Transportation, and the woman that I spoke to, her name was Elaine Sosa. And she turned around and told me that there's definitely something that can get done. Bordentown Avenue is a county road and Route 9 is a state road. So definitely there was a suggestion made that maybe a traffic light can get put there. When one accident occurred there, one of the police officers thought I was joking around when I told him a traffic light can get put there. He said it would interfere with traffic coming off of Route 9 and off the Parkway, but something definitely got to get done.
Okay, hold on a minute. Jay, do you have, can you give the gentleman an update?
Gentleman is correct. This has been an ongoing project that the DOT and the county have been talking about for years. I think it was probably 5 or 6 years ago, there was a open forum that was held by the DOT with the residents to go over the project. The state is currently designing that project. They're in the preliminary design phase for the improvements. And it's a major improvement. There's going to be a roundabout in the vicinity of Burlew, traffic signals as well.
I heard that
Yeah.
there's supposed to be good.
Their timeframe is starting construction is in 2030, so it's approximately 5 years before they start construction, but they are doing all the design and engineering studies at the present time.
Well, I don't know, I was approached by, a lot of the neighbors and stuff. They all had suggestions and stuff like that, like with the traffic light, they should close off just Burlew Place or something like that, and something got to get done. It's, I don't know if I can wait any longer until 2030, because my house was hit at one time. One time my house, I've been like a resident of Sayreville for 40+ years. And, I love the neighborhood, and I'm not going to leave, but like, I just don't know if we can wait for 40, till 2030. Something's got to get expedited quicker than that and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Jay, any suggestions on expediting it?
Fortunately, Mayor, it's not really a borough jurisdiction issue. It's the county and the DOT, and they're working together on the project. And because of the design, they've got to acquire property. They've got to do all kinds of studies to be able to justify the funding. That's the timeframe that they've set forth. I think from a borough standpoint, it kind of comes down to enforcement. If there's anything maybe the police department can do to try to control things better at those intersections. There are restrictions on turning. I know that a lot of times people don't follow those. So that becomes an enforcement issue that the borough possibly could pursue.
Hi, my name is Don Taylor. I live at 1131 Bordentown Avenue. next door to.
John, can you speak more in the mic? I need to get it
Hi,
recorded.
my name is Don Taylor. I live at 1131 Bordentown Avenue. I'm neighbors with Ed. So it takes me at least 5 minutes to be able to back out of my driveway. I roll the dice every time I'm backing out of my driveway. So you're telling me, and I moved to Saraville in 2021, and there was at least 3 to 4 accidents in that intersection. So when I made phone calls, I got the same information. There's a plan, 5-year plan in place, and that was in 2021. So now you're saying 2030 before they even start?
This is a time frame that came from the DOT approximately 2 months ago. The preliminary engineering phase is going to be completed in the fall of 26 and spring of 27. That's followed by final design, which goes from spring of 2027 to 2030. Construction starts in 2030. That's the DOT's timeline at the present time.
Wow.
We can ask our local legislators if it possible. I don't want to mislead you that you ask, if they could get this prioritized. All right. The borough's hands are tied because we don't own we don't own that road. We don't own Bordentown Avenue. We don't own Washington Road. And those are owned by the county. Route 9 is owned by the state. So you got multiple owners there. None of them are us. But that being said, we will reach out to our legislators, and ask them. There's no, we'll just keep pushing it along, trying to get it to the head of the line.
Is there any way we?
There's no quick fix on it.
Is there any way we can be notified as to the progress of your negotiations with the?
Sure. If you would just call the office here or email me, if you'd give 2 of the cards to the ladies in the back, please. We'll put you on a notification list. All right? There's nothing wrong, you're gonna have bad days. Those are tough places to pull in and out of. And it's okay if you call me up and say, Kennedy, it really sucks here. I get it. All right, and all of us sitting up here, we do this for $100 a week. We take these problems very seriously. All right, and we take your problem very seriously. All right, I had a dear friend, the good Lord took him a couple of years ago, started out as a police officer a long time ago, and he told me when he was a cop, Bordentown crossed right over Route 9. And there was no light, there was no nothing, and it was a blood alley. So progress has been made, but it's not right now. So,
My main concern was the safety of the kids that come on that.
Yep.
On that corner, wait for.
yeah. Somebody said the bus won't go down Kenneth Avenue. They stop on Bordentown.
They stop on Bordentown, right on the corner of Bordentown and Kennedy. But like I said, my concern is for the safety of the kids. There's like, a whole mess of, I think it's like 4 buses that come up to the corner at various times and stuff.
And what's the thing? There's no turnaround for them?
No.
Pull back out. Then they'd have to pull back out.
They'd have to back out?
And it's like they'd have to go down Kenneth, make a U-turn, back out, go back out.
So they pick up the kids right there on it.
Yeah.
At the end of Kenneth, there used to be an exit right onto Route 9, and then they put a cul-de-sac at the end, but it's not large enough for a bus to turn around at. So that's why a bus doesn't enter Kenneth any longer, because it has no way to turn around.
Is there any solution possible, Stash?
No, because when they opened up, when they made the exit ramp of the Parkway widener to double or triple lanes, they blocked that entrance off to Kenneth Avenue, which would be dangerous anyway for a car exiting on 9, or coming down 9 or off the Parkway, and somebody pulling into Kenneth. So That's one thing I think is a little safer, but in turn, the traffic and everything else is added to the other end. And they're trying, they stopped that left turn coming out from the McDonald's and everything else.
They still make the left turn.
I know, but at least they're trying to do something, but it's a tough situation we have right there. We're going to try to work with you 100% though.
Appreciate your stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jim? Oh, I'm sorry. Come up, young lady.
I'm actually here on a different matter.
What's that there?
I'm here on a different matter. My name is Taylor McFarland and I work for the New Jersey Sierra Club. I also live in Keyport, New Jersey. And I want to raise the issue that Williams Transco's Nessie project is back. This is the compressor station in Franklin, and this is the pipeline that will cut through Old Bridge, Sayreville, South Amboy, then run under the Raritan Bay and go into Long Island. New Jersey.
It already exists.
It does not. There's existing
There's
pipeline.
another pipeline there.
There is another
Right.
pipeline there, but this is a new pipeline. The new pipeline is going to connect to the Old Bridge 207 compressor station, run through those
Boosted.
under the Raritan Bay, go
Right.
to Long Island.
Right.
New Jersey will not be receiving any of the gas. So several towns have already passed resolutions opposing the project. I'm working with Old Bridge right now. I want to discuss the Madison Loop part of the pipeline. We were just discussing Route 9. This pipeline will cut under Route 9, then cut under the Parkwood Village, travel under the housing development there, cut through Cheesequake Creek, run just north of Lemaire Clubhouse Housing Development, cut under the New Jersey Parkway on the Sayreville side, then cut directly through the Lockwood Marina, then right under Morgan's Bluff, impacting the only entrance to Morgan's Bluff, run through Old Spy Road, then it will go under Route 35 just north of First Street, cut under the railroad tracks where New Jersey Transit runs, then end at the Raritan Bay. The Raritan Bay loop will then begin and go all the way to Long Island. And that, where it starts in the Raritan Bay, is right above the Raritan Bay Slag Superfund site. So these are major roads, major highways, housing developments, businesses that are all going to be impacted. And then the construction of the pipeline in general will dredge up contamination into the bay, and the bay that we've all worked very hard to try to remediate. And just the rejuvenation of marine life in general will be reversed if this project happens. So far, I've been working with, Keyport has passed a resolution in opposition to the project. So has Hazlet, Aberdeen, Matawan, Union Beach, Highlands, Franklin, South Brunswick, Montgomery, all passed resolutions in opposition to this project. Monmouth County Commissioners have also opposed this project in 2019 and still stand in opposition to it.
What does Monmouth County have?
Monmouth County Commissioners passed a resolution in opposition to the project in 2019.
And what about
they
Middlesex?
stand-
What about Middlesex County?
We have not worked with Middlesex yet. We are working with them right now.
Okay. Councilman Stash Sinarski is environmental.
Mhm.
I'm not passing the buck, but you need a point person to work with.
I have a million questions for you, but
Yeah.
like just a quick one. What's the diameter in PSI inside the pipe?
I'm not sure. That's a great engineering question. I can definitely email you the answer for
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's a
this-
lot of things I'd like to know about it
this is
because
the-
there's multiple lines that go there. We have a
Yeah.
high pressure line that goes right next to a school.
I know, yeah.
By
This
the
is
Parkway.
This is the same Williams Transco project that we thought we won and beat, that New York denied, New Jersey denied. The FERC certificate expired last year, and then it revived its project a few months ago. So it will need state permits, it needs land permits. The public only has about 25 days now to comment on the land permits, which is really ridiculous, because it needs floodplain permits, stormwater permits, wetlands permits, and there are no public hearings. So that's what we're trying to ask New Jersey DEP, to extend the public comment hearing process so the public can comment on it, but also provide public hearings, especially in Old Bridge and Sayreville, because this pipe's going to be in people's backyards. So it's really important for them to understand that they have they can participate in this process. I'm happy
Do
to.
you have contact information with you? Your contact information?
Yes, so
Yeah,
I
if
think
you
I
have-
sent
yeah.
all of you emails this morning and last week. So I will also send you all that information as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
of course. Yeah.
Thank you. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Jim Robinson, Parlin. I first want to thank Councilman Dabrowski and Councilman Novak for keeping trying to keep JCPL and L on track, not letting that die. It's tough, and you seem to be the only two working on it, so I appreciate it. Also want to thank Councilman Dabrowski for the parking ordinance, the front yard parking ordinance, moving so quickly on that. Councilman Balka, Councilwoman Novak, I talked to you about that as well, so I appreciate that everybody's on board with that. You know, a lot of miscommunication, a lot of incorrect information about this. So I opened some information, and I saw that the construction official wrote to the zoning officer. The zoning officer had been on vacation for a week. Construction official wrote after you council people contacted him that plenty of nonsense occurred last week regarding the permit for the driveways along Washington Road. Jay Cornell also stated that you should have denied the permit application. So despite the department head calling your concern nonsense, and then the concern of the public's nonsense, I appreciate that you did that, except although, while I appreciate you did it, there was no discussion about it here. You're supposed to discuss things before you vote to put things on the agenda. That's how open government works. I mean, I knew about it, but a lot of other people didn't. I appreciate that Go Net Speed was here for a presentation. There are other companies that do that too, but that was one. I've been talking about this for close to a year, so I appreciate that you finally brought somebody in. I was very happy to see the police department ask for the $75,000 hate crimes grant. Maybe when my time is done, somebody can explain what that is. Maybe, Mike, you can do that. It's your department. I wasn't going to talk about this, but Mayor, you said you didn't have a PAC in response to Mr. Olszewski's question or comment. You're right. Technically, you don't. You have an independent expenditure committee that your chief of staff, your $93,000 a year chief of staff, is the chairman of, and that's called Patriots for Progress. And interestingly enough, Mayor, I was looking the other day because somebody asked me a question, so I went and did some research. I saw that you got a $10,000 contribution to that independent expenditure committee. A $10,000 contribution from the borough attorney, from the current borough attorney, a month before the election, 3 months before they were appointed, January 1st. I know you played games with the engineer, Mayor, where you brought in that engineer from Ocean County, and the folks, Morgan Engineering, they're called, related to the GOP chair, but a $10,000 contribution from somebody who you've later appointed the borough attorney, that just doesn't look good, Mayor. And what other contributions are out there that we know about or don't know about? What other people looking for jobs or looking to build, looking for contracts? I think we should know that. I appreciate the attorney's comment on open space and affordable housing. That is true. If property is open space, it isn't considered for affordable housing. So had we purchased that property, as so many people have recommended, and I happen to like Mr. Rios's idea that we have a referendum, maybe somebody will make a motion that we go to referendum on buying that property. I think it would be a good idea, and then it wouldn't be considered for open space, for affordable housing. So 40 acres of open space versus 250 apartments, you know where I am. Residency, I'm going to talk about this next time because I'm running out of time, but I do find it interesting that you can't be under this ordinance a volunteer, so you can't serve on the Open Space Committee or the Cultural Arts Committee or the Sayreville Day Committee. John Bon Jovi couldn't serve on the Cultural Arts Committee in Sayreville, but we just appointed somebody to the Recreation Department. We hired somebody for the Recreation Department who doesn't live in Sayreville because, as the business administrator said, there was no one qualified in Sayreville. You know why? You didn't advertise in Sayreville. You didn't advertise that position in Sayreville. You put it on the Parks and Recreation website, but until I got wind of it, because I look at those things and circulated it,
Thank you,
nobody
Jim.
knew that job was even there. I would want to sit me down
Thank
too,
you,
Mayor.
Jim.
Thank you.
Ken? Sure.
Can't hear Mrs. Novak.
Excuse me?
Can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's difficult because when I'm talking to somebody down there, I'm away from the mic. I just was wondering, what is the procedure for putting something on a referendum? Do we have enough time?
No, only because I'm actually working on a referendum for another municipality. It has to be adopted by resolution and, well, I shouldn't say no. Not within, unless there's a special meeting held, because it has to be adopted by resolution and it has to be adopted and submitted to the county by August. And now I always get the, hold on, let me get the calendar in front of you. It's August.
Right.
August 8th, I believe it is. So we'd have to hold a special meeting to adopt such a resolution to get it on for this November's election.
Mary, the other thing is, we do not have a willing seller. We contacted Mr. Marco and asked him if he would sell it to the borough, and he said no. So,
Mayor, it
I
just
mean, I
seems
don't know
to me-
where you want to go with this.
It just seems to me that, Kaplan didn't want to sell us that property over by Kennedy Park either, but we really negotiated and worked with him and we finally got it. He was, for years, I was on the Open Space Committee for, oh my God, when Zagata was mayor. And so many of the people, didn't want it, but you just don't, you got to keep at it. It just seems to me that.
What's the point of this process if you don't have a willing seller? You have to have a willing seller. Well, Jim, you had your time. You had your time. You had your time. Jim, you have had your time. About 20 years ago, you had your time.
I just
Go
was,
ahead.
is there any, if I made the motion to try to, have a special meeting and go for a referendum, would I get a second on it?
Well, we can run things in tandem if you want. We can have Glenn call and discuss this with Peter Marco every month. All right?
I'm going to make a motion.
Well,
Is
what's
there
the
a second?
motion, Mary?
That we put this on a referendum, and if it would require a
What
special
does
meeting
the
to do that,
referendum say?
that we don't include this property for affordable housing and we try to purchase it for open space.
Counselor, I mean, you can certainly do that. What does that do with the study we just adopted?
The two things, just one, it can only be as a non-binding referendum. So it's just going to be getting the public's opinion. It still requires council, well, actually, it will require planning board action because the master plan and the housing element that was just adopted is a planning board document. We're just endorsing it. In fact, under the municipal land use law,
You don't
it
even
doesn't
have to.
require that. It's only because it has to deal with affordable housing. The Affordable Housing Act requires that the municipality endorse it because they want to show that they want to see evidence that the municipality is going to implement it at some point during the 10-year fourth round. So it is just a planning board document. So even if the referendum passes, it still would be at the discretion of the planning board whether they want to amend it or not. It wouldn't be a binding, it wouldn't be a requirement. I just wanted to put that out there as to start. But if it did get adopted and the planning board did amend it, then it depends on where we are in the process because we have, any objector has until August 31st to file an objection to our plan. Then it goes through a
a resolution, kind of same way the same process we went through when we adopted our number and
Right.
went through with the program, through settlement negotiations and sessions and hearings, trying to resolve that. That has to be resolved by the end of the year, December 31st, 2025. So if it's during that time period, that's part of the negotiations anyways. So depending on where we fall, we could have an objector that this plan can be amended anyways during that time period. We just had to have it adopted by the planning board by June. So if it's after that fact and we already have an approval, then we might have to go back into the court. And so we'd have to justify it again as to whatever that amendment may be. But remember, we can't just take it out. We have to replace it because that plan has to address our total number as the planner was testifying to. And that's why if we can't just say, oh, we're going to take that piece of property out without having something to replace as to where we're going to come up with those units. So that's just something to consider.
I mean, it just seems to me that there are other options. And again, we will have to, at some point, it's going to come back to us to change the zoning on that.
Right.
Because that is zone prime. It's not zoned for residential. So to just pull something out like that again, governors, I mean, all of the people that sat up here for years felt that should not be residential. And it just seems to be that, we were looking to buy it. Oh, he doesn't want to sell it because he knows that this town was going to rezone it and it was going to make more profit for him. And nobody should know this. All of this stuff seems to be just to make the developers richer. It's got nothing to do with affordable housing, because I'll tell you, some of those rents I couldn't afford, So affordable housing is not affordable, as was set up here before. And and Marco knew that he couldn't have residential on there, and he just thinks that, because all of these things are for developers, got nothing to do with the residents in this town. And I'd still like to make a motion to put this on a referendum to see what the people in this town think.
John, any comment? Well, you have a motion. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded, so you need to really be specific on what we're voting on, Mary.
To remove this because it's prime, to remove it from the calculations. It cannot be residential, okay? Maybe we should look for, now that we know Ashland's going to be emptied.
There's no
Okay.
dreaming here.
Put it
It's
before
hardcore business.
the residents of this town, whether that should remain prime or whether it should be allowed to be residential and affordable housing.
Wait a minute, the residential, so there are two options on the referendum?
No, right, to leave it as it's currently zoned. How's that? To leave that property, the 40 acres by Kennedy Park, as it is currently zoned for prime.
So repeat what we're voting on, please.
To leave the property as it's currently, the 40 acres by Kennedy Park, as it's currently zoned, which is prime. Because we'd have to change it to residential.
Motion.
Well, I would like to acquire it. I mean, I hear
Mary,
Jim
what
saying that,
is the motion?
to remove this property from the affordable.
Either you stop talking or you're gonna have to, you are either stop talking or leave the room. That's your options.
I hate to put it into a referendum that we buy it, because as Kennedy said, that's really up to the seller. So, I mean, I would like it. I think we already had a motion years ago to buy this property. I realize we can't sell it, but we can't force him to sell it, but we can vote to leave this as as prime, the current zoning.
The municipalities can put forth non-binding referendums on.
Okay.
There's very limited, in our form of government, there's very limited basis to put binding referendums on.
Right.
And this would have to fall under a non-binding referendum, which is just
Okay.
basically for informational purposes for the municipality to collect the public's.
So if this parcel gets pulled out of the plan we voted to adopt tonight, do we then have to redo?
Yes. Well, no, actually, we don't have to do anything because once again, it's only a non-binding referendum. So what would happen is if this goes on for referendum, and let's say the referendum does pass, the interest is they don't want this property in part of the plan, then it's still left to the discretion of the planning board whether they want to act or not. Nothing could end up resulting from it because the planning board could say, we're sticking with this until we find out otherwise from the courts as to what the resolution is. Or we just want this property in and we're not taking it out. And that's left to the planning board's discretion, no matter what the results of the referendum would be.
Okay. All right. So this is like a no harm, no foul, government, not particularly at its best, but I would have no objection to vote on the non-binding referendum. And it would be in the spirit of working together with Mary and Dan, and I wouldn't see an objection to voting for this. So Mary, state your referendum, and I'll call for comments and then a second.
Well, I would like the referendum to say that this property should remain as it's currently zoned, so it'll be removed from the affordable housing plan. And I don't think I'd like to put in there too, but I don't see how it can be enforced. You could tell the residents, put in there that the town move forward on purchasing this property.
Well, I'll repeat it again because you're adding as you go through this. I understand the process, but you have to be fairly clear on this, Mary.
Yeah, if I may, Mayor, because
Go ahead.
I'm going to have to draft this resolution referendum. And referendums have been held many times, struck down because they weren't, even with non-binding ones, because they weren't very clearly stated. So I got to make sure I understand what you want on there. So from what I understand, the referendum is going to state whether or not the public wants this property taking out of the adopted housing element and fair share plan to be kept as currently zoned. Did I summarize it correctly? Because that's what I have in my notes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so that is the motion, Mary?
Yes.
Okay. Before we go for a second, are there comments?
I do have a question because
Although the motion has, well,
Oh,
I'll have
can't
to
go
ask for a second again, but let me ask for,
It's when they talk.
is there a second?
Yes.
Okay. So motion made by Mary, seconded by Dan. Questions?
I do have a question. And I need attorney answer for this because my understanding is we keep it as prime. That is what we're zoned for. It is in the plan currently. It's prime, so it is not to be used for affordable housing. Isn't it the state that does the zoning overlay to allow that? Is there any way we could prevent that?
It's non-binding, Mary. This is strictly a political move by the local Democratic Party trying to create an issue, hoping that you and Sash and John and Mike vote no on it. So that's why, since it's a harmless waste of time, I would recommend you vote yes on it.
So it is the state is the one that has the ability to do the overlay anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you mean by overlay. I'm sorry, because if this went forward as an affordable housing, then the municipality adopts the overlay ordinance, how it wants to see that property developed as affordable housing in compliance with how it's outlined in the master plan or the housing element that was just adopted. So that's all within the municipalities. I'm not sure what, and there could be something that involves the state that I'm just not misunderstanding your question, but ultimately the zoning of this property will be in control and decided by this governing body. Whatever zoning will finally be put in place one way or the other.
So that being said, it's just purely from their strategist who's got nothing to work with. He came up with this. So motion is made and seconded. If there are no questions, I'll call for a roll call vote. I would recommend that since it falls in the category of fantasy world and made up a non-binding referendum, that everybody vote yes on it. Roll call.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Valka,
Yes.
Khaleesi,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
So, I'm sorry, no, not voting. I tried buying a lot next door to my father's house. It's 35 feet by 100. The lot next to my father's house is 35 by 150. The lot sold for 200,000. You kept repeating yourself saying you could buy this lot. It's only estimated at 700,000, 690,000 for 40 acres. I'll buy it tomorrow myself. There's no such thing, and we can't condemn the property. For what reason? I don't understand how you could just take somebody's property and condemn it. He doesn't make sense, but that doesn't mean yet. I'm sorry, I'm voting no. Okay.
Dabrowski.
I'm going to vote no as well. I don't, we have a responsibility as a council to do what's right, not what's politically efficient, but to do what's right. And I agree with Stash. This is not efficient government. This is a political stand for something that doesn't make sense without understanding the issue further. And really non-binding, I would agree. Most residents would say no. But as a responsible group, we have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that we're passing good resolutions. And I don't see this as being a good resolution. It's not well thought out. It's been convoluted. It's been changed 16 times since we'd be up here in the last 10 minutes. Quite frankly, to me, it's just irresponsible. No.
It's pure Robinson, but it is what it is. So is that a tie score? A tie?
No, yes, it goes forward. But
Okay.
Next thing is now when you want to hold a special meeting, if you're on a deadline,
When do you need the special meeting?
when do we have to have it to
You
the
have to
council?
submit it to the county by Friday, August 8th is the deadline. 88 days.
So
before
next
the election.
Monday.
Do we have time?
Hold on, I
to
gotta-
Advertise?
Advertise.
And
And
that's.
we have nothing July 28th here. That's. Will I have a quorum for?
A week from today.
Mayor, just so you're aware, I'm out of the state that whole week, so I'd have to send someone else from my office. to cover the
Okay.
meeting. Jessica, what's the date again, please?
Next Monday, the 28th?
I don't know yet.
Mayor, I have a conflict on the 28th.
All right, what date next week, is it, is free for everybody?
I'm good every day.
I beg your pardon?
Or the latest we can do is August 4th.
Is everyone free August 4th? August is better. John, can you do it the 4th?
Yes.
Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, Mary?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay, Donna? Sash?
As of right now, yes.
Dan? Okay, so we'll do it August 4th, 7 o'clock.
Want to try for 6?
What?
A little bit earlier, 6?
Donna has to come from Jersey City, so make it 7.
So let's shoot for 6 o'clock. Today was a special circumstance. The road was closed down, so it took a lot
Okay.
longer. I can make it for 6.
What time, 6? Okay. So August 4th, 6 o'clock. All right, everybody okay with that? All right. All right, anything else, Mary?
I just would like to say one thing. In our rules of order, number 15, it says, "No allusion shall be made to the motives of any member in the course of his debate or his performance of his duty." And I'm telling you, I used to have a problem with this all the time, but we made it all the way through July without somebody accusing me of doing something for political. I voted to put this in prime all those years ago. I voted to purchase this property. This isn't political for me because I've been voting for this on and off for 15 years. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, Ken?
Ken Olszewski, Saraville. I find it ironic that we can't condemn the property. They're condemning Quick Tire in Perth Amboy and the apartment house next to it, and a farm in Cranberry. It's all over the news, even on national news. So, but that's not what I'm here for. I find it strange on this residency requirement that you're going to work on an ordinance for. I can remember not too long ago, we fought like hell to let a couple of brothers in Old Bridge get on one of our boards. I hope it's not a vendetta against somebody here, because we have a lot of vendettas that come out on this stuff. And it just seems quite strange that we're doing that. And you know what? We got people working for us from Philadelphia and promoting them every other meeting to something. But yeah, somebody that lives in South Amboy can't serve on our board or on Old Bridge. That sounds like a joke coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Mayor, to you, you talked about Gillette Manor and the affordable housing. I think you might have gotten one thing wrong. Maybe not. I couldn't hear you all that well back there. But I want to remind everybody, as chairman of Gillette, of Saraville Housing Authority, and for Gillette Manor, we took and designated 84 units at Gillette for affordable housing. And that saved us from having to build hundreds and hundreds of more affordable housing, not affordable, but housing units in town, having a developer build those. And as a result of that, we had to, unfortunately, and I didn't like it, take away the requirement that at Gillette it was for Saraville residents. We had to take that away. So I think you stand corrected on, Mayor, if I heard you before. But I'm sure you didn't do it intentionally, but that was the detail on it. It saved us. It saved builders coming in and building hundreds of units. 84 of those Gillette units were designated as affordable housing. So I hope everybody might understand that. Talking about what I said before about Zach. I think it stands. Maybe I was wrong on that. It was a PAC, but apparently he chaired or chairs a dark money committee. That's they got you a lot of money, right? And then I hear that there's a $10,000 donation from the attorney's firm before he gets appointed on January 1st. You know, when I was the Beatles had a hit song a while back called "Money Can't Buy Me Love." I remember as a kid in Saraville, and for years it was Saraville, home of nationally known industry. But we give jobs to people that chair PACs. We hire attorneys that have made huge contributions. I think maybe we need a new slogan for Saraville. And maybe that Saraville should be, money can buy jobs, professional appointments, and developer favors like pilots. That's the Saraville we're living in right now. Let me say it again so you understand it. Money can buy jobs, professional appointments, and developer favors like pilots. Congratulations to Mayor, to you and the four people that are with you, the council president who in behest of ridiculous things you come out with, like having cops come and escort people to their seat who have done nothing wrong but kind of talk about government things, and some of the other ridiculous things, changing from a 5-minute to 3-minute public portion. And Donna Roberts, the council president, normally the council president, because I sat there, would take over and get to something that had meaning and wasn't so ridiculous, or that people would get the hell up and walk out of the room so you didn't have a quorum when you come up with those things. But They sit there and do nothing. And I think that's the new slogan that this government right here, this secret government that you run for the first time in the history of the borough since 1920. That's the history of Saraville, over 100 years, and it's the first time you didn't answer questions. And the ones you take care of are people that donate. That's obvious by some of the things that have been brought out here tonight. Thank you very much. That's a town that we certainly can't be proud of.
Anyone else? Bob? Bob Duffy, 111 Merritt Avenue. I stood in front of this microphone in the beginning of the year, and I shared my concerns over getting a new ordinance in town. And it was read tonight, and I want to thank the attorney, the mayor, the council, and everybody that worked on it for doing it. Number two, I would like to talk to John, you and your group at the planning board. I want to thank you very much for acting very professional in an environment that was very bad. And to sit there and listen and take that stuff is truly ethical group you have. And I want to thank you personally and send that to your group, and that you did something good for the people in the area, but you did something great for the township. Okay? And I just want to thank you very much for that. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Bob. Anyone else? Being no one else, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion.
Motion to close the public portion. Second.
Roll call.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, before adjournment, a couple of things. What I see going on a lot this particular campaign season is the spread of misinformation. I was told today that the latest silliness is they're going to seniors and they're telling them that the borough is deforesting Journey Mill Road so that they can build residential homes. That's just an outright lie. That exceeds misinformation. Just so everybody knows, it's absolute fantasy. But that, listen, when you have the talent or lack of talent that you have in a political party, that's what you come out with. The other thing, when I first became mayor, Jim Robinson was adamantly opposed to building Patriot Hills because it was behind his townhouse association. And he was adamantly, vehemently against the extension of Ernston Road to Main Street. He would call me up and say all kinds of things. So that being said, there is stuff that has passed in my terms, my 6 terms as mayor, and there's things that haven't. So I noticed on Facebook, they took a picture of the property behind Costa Verde and are attributing it to me. That was like a 26-acre site owned by National Lead, which from time to time in the first 20 years I was mayor, builders would come to me and I'd say, nah, you can't do it. So when my wife got sick, I stepped down for 4 years and it went through the planning board under Mayor Kilpatrick. And I was wondering who was advising her. Same thing with the 2 apartment buildings going up down at the end of Main Street before the Main Street extension. There's a number of things that went up. As far as this obsession with only hiring Saraville people, Ken, I remember when you commuted to King of Prussia every day to go to work, right? I mean, is this some kind of thing that everybody's stuck that you gotta stay in Saraville? You can't go outside of Saraville? I remember all this stuff. I remember Jim for a number of years going up to Hunterdon County and Sussex County. You know, this is, what's good for you is not good for the people of Sayreville, apparently. That being,
It's important.
ah,
You don't understand that.
well, that is something, that is something, that is something. All right. So now that Jim is on a roll, I will adjourn the meeting, so we don't have to suffer anymore. Take a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Bye, Jim. Have a nice night. Have a nice night, Jim.
Is there a second?
Is there a second? Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go.